In this nursery, 20 years ago, something terrible happened that was to change the course of magical history forever. At the hands of the most evil wizard of all time, a baby became an orphan. That baby was called Harry Potter, and this is how the story ends. 10 years ago, the Philosopher's Stone hit the big screens. It was the eagerly awaited cinematic arrival of Harry Potter, following the huge success of the books by J.K. Rowling about the young boy wizard and his battles with unimaginable evil. No one could have predicted what would happen next, that the films themselves would go on to become part of the phenomenon, watched by literally billions of people worldwide and catapulting the young stars into the stratosphere. A decade later, who could have imagined this young girl as a worldwide fashion icon and these two angel-faced boys actually shaving? Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the 8th and final film in the series that has followed the stories of the young boy wizard on his quest to save the wizard world from the evil hands of Lord Voldemort, in the knowledge that in the end, only one of them would survive. We've come behind the scenes to discover some of the secrets that went into the making of this final instalment of cinema history. We'll see how the filmmakers created the mother of all battles and destroyed some of our favourite Hogwarts landmarks.
Just went on going, who's done this then? Who's been this careless?
We find out what happens when Ron and Hermione finally get together.
The first take, just kind of leaning in and then his face is getting closer and closer.
And as we come to the end of an era, we'll hear how the film stars are feeling as this chapter of their lives comes to a breathtaking conclusion.
I'll never be able to explain to anyone that I meet new that what my life has been like.
In the previous film, Harry, Ron and Hermione embarked on a highly dangerous mission far away from the safety of Hogwarts and their family and friends to find and destroy Horcruxes, objects containing parts of Voldemort's soul. This film continues that journey. If they can eliminate the remaining 4 Horcruxes, they will save the magical world from a terrible fate. Harry, Ron and Hermione discover from Griphook the Goblin that one of the Horcruxes is hidden deep in the bowels of Gringotts Bank in the family vault of their arch-enemy, Bellatrix Lestrange. We have been in some incredible sets over the years on Harry Potter, and this has to be up there with the best of them. This is Gringotts the Wizarding Bank, and we're in the Lestrange vault. Been wondering what you did with the old gold skeleton? She's right there. The way into the vault entails a hair-raising magical cart ride. But first, there's a more practical problem.
Getting into Gringotts is a dangerous thing, so they naturally have to disguise themselves. Harry and Griphook, who goes along with them, go under the invisibility cloak. Ron puts on a disguise, some makeup, a beard, etc. And Hermione, if you remember the end of the last film, a hair drifted down to her when she was in Malfoy Manor. And she takes that hair and she puts it in some polyjuice potion and she drinks it, though we don't see her, that's done off camera, and she becomes Bellatrix.
It's a really interesting way of working because you suddenly become really aware of the things that I like, my mannerisms, yes, which I'm not really aware of. But watching Helena do me was bizarre.
She's uncanny, isn't she?
She's uncanny.
Well, you can imagine. Hermione's Bellatrix, those are two quite different people,
yeah,
and it's not altogether comfortable for Hermione to be Bellatrix, to put it mildly.
I wish to enter my vault.
I was going to say, you're actually looking relatively demure.
Well, I'm demure because actually I'm not Bellatrix today, I'm Hermione. This is Hermione's version of Bellatrix.
There's not enough leather for my liking.
No, because, you know, she's pure. She's not, well, Emma described her because I got lots of notes. In fact, we could even see them on my text. She gave me some homework for how to play Hermione.
Did she?
Yeah, and she said prude, you know. We were sort of comparing the two, Bellatrix and Hermione. And when I got to play her, which is my life's dream, everyone wants to play Hermione.
Why not?
And it's great, also, given that I am 43, to act opposite those two, because then I now suddenly think, God, I'm 17 again. Let's see if I've got them on my... Okay, Emma, thank you for being so sweet. Aww. exciting one. Definitely, I just really appreciated. Oh, she's so nice to me. Hang on. Hang on.
We are.
Okay, then I asked for some more notes, and it's funny, I don't know where it's gone. At first, it was a bit nerve-wracking because she hasn't got, you know, a hump, Emma, or doesn't talk, you know, or, you know, doesn't have a limp or something. She's much more introverted than Bellatrix, but there's a lot of worry going on, you know. And then she does this thing with, she does sometimes use her chin. That's my one, you know, she just
does, yeah.
It's like that.
Hey, Ruth, how you doing?
Good to see you.
I have to say, this is just quite unexpected. How is
It's quite
it?
good looking at it. Yeah, it's all right. It's itchy, but
Does it take a while to get on?
it takes about an hour. Yeah.
Explain what's going on in this scene.
This is like kind of the carts that go through all the kind of underground
Through the vaults and down to get to
yeah. So yeah, it's good. It's quite fun on this one.
It's quite a good laugh being up there on the rig as well.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it's quite good.
Stuart, who designs the movies, was advising the Orlando theme park at the time.
Was it really?
I don't think there was a bit of cross-fertilisation there. I'm sure he came back and he said, and the car kind of does that and then it goes around here. And I said, Stuart, this sounds great. This is like a theme park ride.
What was that, Grip Hook?
And we actually see it when the film happens.
Rupert as well, please.
To think we were right here. I love it.
We've sort of seen a waterfall, and I've sensed that Warwick, or as Grip Hook, is panicking. Grip Hook! And so we're just sort of desperately trying to work out why he is panicking, and as it turns out, it's because the waterfall, which we then go under, is something that removes all enchantments, so that Helena then goes back to looking like Emma.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Do you know what? It just sounds like the average person trying to get a loan out of the bank at the moment. Do you know what I mean? There's all these...
That's what I love about Potter. It's entirely relatable.
Gringotts Bank is staffed by goblins, played by a cast of 60 short actors, all wearing complex prosthetic makeups and all required on set at the same time. This caused something of a logistical challenge for makeup effects designer Nick Dudman.
If it takes 2 to 3 people, makeup artists, to apply each of these makeups, you suddenly end up needing over 150 people.
Goodness me.
Just to get the makeups on in the morning. I had to bring in a load of makeup artists, some from Europe. I think we had 15 different nationalities all in one room, to get people who had the relevant skills and experience to be able to put these makeups on.
Prior to the shoot, it took Nick's team 8 months to produce these prosthetic masks. Each was made specifically for the actor wearing it. And can you believe that every single hair was individually threaded? I'd imagine for the first time on set, you guys were the majority. The short actors were the majority, and that must have been quite strange, but quite satisfying.
Absolutely, yeah. There were more short people on set than certainly average-sized cast member, if not crew members as well. And it was quite lovely because it's instead of sort of feeling out of place and slightly on your own, you're suddenly surrounded by like-minded individuals and like-sized individuals, which was really quite fun.
After the break, we'll reveal how the filmmakers created the epic battle scene that will seal the fate of Harry and Lord Voldemort, and from which only one will survive. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is primarily a war film. The gloves are well and truly off. This is an every man, woman and child fight to the death, and believe me, there is a lot of death. But it all comes to a head here, at Hogwarts, a sanctuary for generations of witches and wizards. One of the best kept secrets about Harry Potter is that Hogwarts doesn't actually exist. Bits of it have been filmed all over Britain, in Durham, in York, in Alnwick, and parts of it have been created as sets here at Leavesden Studios. They've taken their inspiration from buildings all over the world. But you do get to see the whole Hogwarts every now and again in the film, which I always assumed was done digitally in the edit after the film had finished, but I was wrong. Just have a look at this. This is actually a scale model of this scale model, which has been used on the previous Harry Potter films.
Hogwarts has always existed as a model. There's a beautiful model at Shepperton Studios. It's huge. It's been made by all these model makers with great love and attention.
we would have these 3 or 4 or 5, 6 week shoots with this model unit filming these very intricate shots of Hogwarts.
But this time we built it all digitally, and that gave us much more flexibility. Another aspect was we wanted to travel through the castle in a way that we hadn't before, join things together and see more of it than we had before.
So this has taken an awful lot of time. We started towards the end of 2008 by scanning the actual real model that was built and used for previous films. We photographed all of the textures from that model, and then we did sort of several days of surveying real castles and buildings in England and Scotland, taking lots of real stone textures and architectural details such as the windows and the leading and all of the sort of drain pipes, everything that makes a building look real. And then we brought all that together and spent over a year rebuilding Hogwarts in the computer and adding all the detail and texture that would allow us to basically fly the camera from a mile away from the school all the way in through a window, and the resolution would actually hold up on screen.
Once inside Hogwarts, the CGI model blends seamlessly with the sets we all know and love. A welcoming sight for our heroes after months on the run. When Harry, Ron and Hermione finally return to Hogwarts, it's the beginning of the end. But whereas in the past, their arrival back at school has always been greeted with a certain amount of ceremony on trains, strange creatures and automobiles, this time they have to sneak through a secret passage to avoid detection by the Death Eaters. Now the good news is, it's connected to a pub down that end. The bad news is, I've got no idea how to get down.
Hey, listen up you lot. Brought you a surprise.
Not more bad before it's cooking, I hope. Be surprised if we can digest it. Fly me.
They find themselves here in the Room of Requirement, where Dumbledore's army, as you can see, have been camping out, waiting for Harry to lead them into battle against Voldemort and the Death Eaters. Just looks so different from the last time we saw it. I love it.
It's kind of like the Lost Boys, you know, like there's like hammocks and sleeping bags everywhere and radios, and it's kind of like this secret gang, which is really cool. We meet up with Neville, who's kind of like heading the DA, Dumbledore's army, while Harry's been gone.
Lightning has struck. I repeat, lightning has struck.
What's the plan, Harry?
And they all want to fight, and they all, obviously, you know, this is the moment they've been waiting for, Harry's return. They're ready for action, they want to, you know, help with the cause.
Okay, okay, stop killing me for your river.
One of my favourite characters in these next two films is Matt Lewis, Neville. All the while he's been a kind of bumbling...
Dithering.
Kind of, yeah, a bit useless and doesn't really, you know, who wants him in your army?
Expelliarmus!
He leads the army this time, and he really, you know, when Harry has his short... lapse and he's not there, he really, you know, stands up and does one of those sort of Braveheart speeches, you know, they may take our lives, it's great. I was getting teared up even when I was on the other side. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's nice to see a lot of these, again, I call them